The French city of Dijon, just 300 kilometers from the capital, Paris, looks like a war zone as of now. According to reports, the warring sides in this French town include heavily armed Chechen refugees on one side, and on the other side is a drug gang comprising resident Algerians of the northwest African descent. Armed Chechen youth wearing baklavas, and they were seen brandishing semi-automatic weapons, pistols, knives and clubs.
شده قوض او قبل فيدراس هذيك عندها تيجي شغل عندها ويش انت ماشين تو غير شور ويش انت ماشين تو غير شور يا تشوي تن
I promise on the Holy Quran that wherever they are, I won't leave them alone.
They beat me in the face with their fists. They beat me on the body. My eyes were blindfolded, so I don't know what they beat me with.
Anyone who criticizes our leader Ramzan, I'll shoot them from this pistol. I'm here in Germany. We control this place.
Вернуться в Чечению сегодня.
If I go back to Chechnya today, it's the same as walking into certain death.
На явную смерть.
Russian President Vladimir Putin installed Ramzan Kadyrov as head of the Restiv Republic in 2007. The now 39-year-old has ruled with an iron fist ever since. The Vienna protest was triggered by Kadyrov's public humiliation of civilians critical of his regime. This social worker, Aishat Inayeva, recorded a message on WhatsApp in which she complained about Kadyrov living a life of luxury while ordinary citizens were barely able to make ends meet. Kadyrov responded by ordering her and her husband to a meeting in his palace. Following an excruciating grilling on national television, the clearly terrified Inayeva retracted her words. Another incident involved a young man named Adam Dikayev who criticized Kadyrov on Instagram. Dikayev was tracked down and had his trousers removed, an act considered a huge insult for Chechens. He was then filmed running on a treadmill singing a song with the title "My Best Friend is President Putin" and forced to take back his words.
Я, Адам Дикаев, думая, что меня не найдут, я написал в своем инстаграме то, что не нужно было писать. Меня нашли, сняли с меня штаны. Я понял, что я никто. С этих пор Путин мой отец, дед и царь.
Inayeva and Dikayev survived their public shaming, but this professor from Grozny University paid the ultimate price. Khezhia Igiev was abducted by law enforcement agents in mid-December 2015. 12 days later, his beaten body was discovered in a forest. Passers-by in central Vienna barely noticed the Christmas Eve protest. But Mansour's interview, broadcast in Chechnya and across Europe by the US-funded Radio Free Europe, spread far and fast.
Давно не было такого, чтобы кто-то говорил о том, что на самом деле происходит в оккупированной Ичкерии. Поэтому очень сильно распространились. Особенно я слышал, что среди чеченцев, которые находятся дома, также очень сильно распространились.
Kadyrov reacted swiftly, threatening collective punishment to relatives of those involved.
I have given the order to find out who their brothers and fathers are, which clan and where they are from, who they are. Their relatives in Chechnya must be told to control their relatives in Austria. If they don't do this, then we will make them.
Since his instatement as president, Ramzan Kadyrov has developed a reputation for not only his extreme ruthlessness, but also for his wild extravagance. He lives in an opulent palace of gold and marble, which he shares with his wife and 7 children. He enjoys entertaining Western celebrities, boasts an extensive collection of luxury cars, has a penchant for racing horses, which he keeps in Dubai, and even has his own private zoo. Other hobbies include collecting weapons, posting pictures of himself with baby animals on his Instagram page, and throwing lavish birthday celebrations for the man who built his career on the second invasion of Chechnya, Russian President Vladimir Putin.
Сегодня мы вышли сказать слова благодарности нашему великому патриоту, нашему национальному лидеру, верховному главнокомандующему Владимиру Путину, что мы действительно помним и никогда не забудем те самые трудные дни, которые были у нашего народа, и как нас поддержал наш президент Владимир Путин.
For the relatives of the estimated 300,000 Chechens who lost their lives during the 2 brutal wars with Russia, it's impossible to forget, let alone forgive, the country which invaded their territory. Mansour was 13 years old in 1999 when the Russian army marched into Chechnya for the second time.
Я хорошо помню, как они завоевали Чечению. Все эти убийства мирных жителей, похищение людей, грабежи, все это я сам видел. В 2000 году потерял отца от рук российских оккупантов. Можно сказать, в общем, и Первая война, и Вторая война, все детство прошло в этих войнах.
When Russia took control of the republic in mid-2000, Vladimir Putin appointed Ramzan's father, Ahmad, as head of the Chechen administration. 3 years later, the one-time supporter of the anti-Russian insurgency became president of a region now firmly controlled by his former enemy. To most Chechens, Kadyrov was the ultimate traitor. 6 months later, he was dead, assassinated at a parade celebrating Russia's victory in World War II. In 2007, Ramzan inherited his late father's post, and with it, his loyalty to Russia. Human rights organizations estimate that since Kadyrov Sr. became president, over 36,000 Chechens have been killed, and between 6,000 to 7,000 have disappeared.
The Moscow Circus on the March. The new day of war against Ukraine began in Russia with the series of statements at the so-called Council of Defense of Russia. The defense minister Shoigu proudly reported that there are 16,000 volunteers from Middle East to join the war against Ukraine, obviously talking about Syrians from Russia's partner Assad's army. Putin ordered to deploy them to Ukraine. 5 minutes later, the Russian propaganda TV channel showed the video of Syrian volunteers happy to repeat the way of others 12,000 pro-Putin occupiers. Russia's ties with Middle East dictators and terrorist organizations are well known, but it is first time that Moscow confirms it officially.
الصين كمان وبكي تغزي لتايوان بنكسر أنف الأمريكان وصانعين الطيارات سيف قلبك يا بوتين اهجموا قوة الهجمات جردهم ع فلسطين ونتزوج أوكرانيا
Mes frères combattants russes, nous sommes au courant de ce qui se passe en Ukraine. Les soldats russes mènent des opérations militaires pour amener la paix et l'ordre face au nationalisme ukrainien. Nous, soldats africains, nous sommes prêts à aller auprès de nos frères russes pour aller les soutenir. Mes frères russes, tenez bon, nous, Africains, nous arrivons bientôt. Courage, courage.
Merci. More than 100 people participated on Saturday in Bangui, the capital of the Central African Republic, CAR, in support of Russia's offensive against Ukraine. The demonstrators gathered at the foot of a statue inaugurated in late 2021 by President Faustin Archange Touadéra, representing Russian fighters protecting a woman and her children. We recognize a friend in suffering. When we were in crisis, it was Russia that came to our rescue to liberate the country. We saw France, which was there but did nothing, and France continues to bully us. We have to tell certain truths today. Russia is coming to liberate us. Now we are free, and we must support Russia at all costs until our last breath. Russia came to our country in the moment of crisis. Our country has suffered. Our country has been mistreated by the rebels, and that is why we came to support Russia. Many waved Russian and Central African flags in the heart of the capital near the university. On Wednesday, the CAR abstained during a vote at the United Nations General Assembly of a text that demanded that Russia immediately cease the use of force against Ukraine.
Chinese students are being brainwashed about how terrible Ukraine is and how great Putin's invasion is.
课前准备，书本摆放，3-1班，谁的兵，谁的团，手放平，谁的兵，谁的团，1年级3班，谁的兵，谁的团，手放平，书放正。
谁的兵？你的兵。谁的团？你的团。国际局势风云突变，乌克兰成为世界瞩目的焦点。乌克兰曾经是20世纪末最土豪的国家，因为前苏联解体时，作为次子的乌克兰继承庞大的军事遗产。第一遗产，
核武器库，其中威力最大的是洲际导弹、撒旦导弹，无人能敌。
第二遗产，
主战坦克有6000多辆，其中时速最高可达70千米。
第三遗产
，3艘航空母舰，上面装备300多艘战机，可以随时待命出征。
第四遗产，
世界最大战略轰炸机图160，它的外形很优美，被誉为白天鹅。
乌克兰这个败家子儿继承了前苏联这么庞大的军事遗产，现在却成为了最遗憾的国家。从这个事件当中，我们懂得了什么道理？
日子要自己过，我们要好好学习，建设祖国，保卫祖国。你们英勇保卫祖国，每一寸伤亡，是你们坚定信念，像烈火指引我。
老师，俄罗斯为什么要出兵乌克兰呢？
因为有纠纷，因为乌克兰要加入北约。下面讲一个故事，你就明白了。
刘老大搞这么一出，我想把老二拉回来。老二，犯原则错误，我得揍你。但 M 国一直在背后搞小动作，忽悠老二跟老大干。刘老大这回态度坚决，
本着国家利益至上、国防安全第一的原则，强势出兵，战争便一触即发了。
你们有什么感受？
国际局势风起云涌，复杂多变，我们并未生活在一个和平的时代，而是生活在一个和平的国家。